Alright guys, welcome back to Hyrule Warriors. Last time we met in Hyrule Warriors, we did the first part of the Twilight Princess time split with Lana in the Hyrule Field, the version of Hyrule Field from Twilight Princess. So now we are actually going on to the Palace of Twilight, playing as Midna, and I honestly regret this decision because, Jesus Christ, I think this mission, this part is 32 minutes long without the end screen. So we're going to be here for a bit because my Midna is utter garbage, I gotta say. Also, I think I'm just bad at playing as Midna. But I think a lot of the time was dedicated to the final part of this battle.
It was Zant, the usurper king of the Twilight Realm. Lana and Midna would have to overcome his unnatural powers to complete their task.
Yeah, so we're in the Palace of Twilight, which was the final dungeon. Okay, well, I mean, if you want to count Hyrule Castle from Twilight Princess, then the second to last dungeon. But this was like the penultimate dungeon back in Twilight Princess. And by the way, I love this theme that's playing right now. It's actually really good. But yeah, like my Midna, she may be level 45, but for some reason, I was having problems with her in terms of just defeating enemies. It might have been because this is hard mode, but I don't know, man. She just felt like it was taking forever. You mainly notice it with like the big officers and then the giant boss of this this level. Yeah, like look at that. Like if that was like Lana or Link especially. Like, if that was, like, Link or Lana, then that would not have taken her this long. I love Midna as a character, you know, but playing as her in this game, not my favorite kind of thing. Also, yes, they brought back Redeads and Gibdos for this mission, so that's another reason I fucking hate this level, because, Christ, again, I don't know who thought it was okay to put these assholes in the game. They're such a pace breaker, because, like, look at how I have to basically stop what I'm doing the moment I see that he's shouting. I have to stop what I'm doing, back away, and then get that hit on him. Like, it's very time-consuming for just one enemy in a game that's designed around, you know, basically going fucking crazy and just defeating as many enemies as you can. Like, it's just a pace breaker in all honesty. Like, yeah, fighting one-on-one in this game, especially depending on the character you're playing as, Midna is honestly not a great character for one-on-one battles. Because she relies a lot on, like, her version of the wolf. Yeah, this isn't like Wolf Link, because technically, you know, she never met Link in this game, but it's just a wolf. Like, she is... So, yeah, a lot of her combos are very area sweeping effective. Meaning that she's very good in that kind of situation. Like, if you were doing a challenge where you had to defeat hordes of enemies, then Midna would be a good character to use. But, you know, if you're doing a lot of one-on-one battles, Midna would not really be useful. She would probably end up attacking in the opposite direction, even with the lock-on enabled. I already went over what the owl statues do. Oh, those poor guys. I mean, they just... Okay, never mind. They're fine. So, yeah, Zant destroyed the Bridge of Twilight there, or the bridges there, and, well, we're now shit out of luck because we can't go back up. If this was my first time playing the game, this is actually where you get the hook shot, where you can use it in... on hookshot points in order to climb ledges. It's only certain ledges, not every ledge in the game. Okay, so yeah, you can use your items both in combat and for exploration. I don't really use them in combat because some of them are just not as practical as you think they are. Like, bombs are pretty useful. I would say maybe the hookshot when you upgrade it and when you're using the upgraded version, because throughout the game, you may have noticed that I'm getting like bomb power-ups or whatever it says. That's actually power-ups for your items, and you know, those are really useful because they make your items a little more effective. Like for your bombs, it's a giant bomb, or for the arrows, it's the light arrows, and then for the hook shot, it's like it's what it does is that you do the hook shot on the initial enemy, and then you pull a freaking moon down from Majora's Mask and crash it into them. You know, the item power-ups make your weapons more effective, but I just still never really use them because, one, it's completely random on what item power-up you get sometimes, so maybe it's an item you don't like using, like the hammer. And I just don't use the items that much because I'd rather just do it myself. You know, my character's more than capable of doing it themselves. Yeah, so this is the room you get the hook shot in. That previous room, I think you get a weapon. I think it's one of I think it's Lana's. I think it's Lana's is no, we got the Kokiri spear a while ago. So I don't know what that was for. Probably a heart container, a heart piece. Then again, why would they usually okay, let me get into how heart pieces and heart containers work. Okay. If you've played any Zelda game, or honestly any video game in general, heart pieces and heart containers expand your health. In heart pieces, you need 4 of them in order to do it. Every character has their like own individual heart count. You may have noticed that like in the selection screen for the legend mode, you notice like the character's eye portrait and then the heart container, a heart piece there. That means that character can find a heart piece or heart container in the level. Now for legend mode specifically, it can be anywhere. It can be in the map, it can be in a keep, and you have to capture the keep first in order to get to it, or it could be in a boulder or something. But the boulder really happens more in legend mode. But in adventure mode, typically you're just capturing a keep and then that character then a treasure chest will pop up, and then that character will be able to open it. Oh yeah, so Agarok is introduced in this level, and he's kind of a bitch in this one. Because what we have to do is, in order to defeat Agarok, we gotta get Lana, we have to escort Lana to the keep that he's in, and we gotta pull him down. But the thing is that won't work the first 2 times. Yeah, it'll buy us some time. Because he's actually constantly targeting the allied base now. And guess what happens if the allied base falls? I think I've mentioned it a few times in this Let's Play. You lose. So do not let the allied base fall. So right now you have to escort Alana to the keep that Agarok just took. And then, first things first, you got to take it back. You got to capture yourself. Okay, and Agatha is now defending the square, that one square. And you may have noticed that I can't play as her yet. Oh, that's not till later. And now we got enemies coming my way, going towards my base. And I'm doing the smart thing and going back. By the way, I believe if you decide to play as Lana for this mission, it's Midna that's making the magic circles. But like, see how Midna's really good at sweeping the enemies into one place? She's not really that good with crowds. And she almost one-shot at that guy. That Aerophilos, however you pronounce it, I forget. Alright. I mean, I do like this Twilight Princess callback. You know, with the fact that Midna just rides the wolf the whole way, the whole time. I like that little callback. Yeah, but Agarok, of course, breaks out of it because this mission has to go on for 20 minutes. This is honestly my least favorite mission in Legend Mode, I gotta say. Because I remember hating it back when I first played this game. Whoa, Commando. Oh, that's gross. That's gross. And the Commando is advancing towards Agatha. Cool. So yeah, unfortunately, we still can't play as Agatha, despite the fact that we have someone advancing towards her. In fact, I don't think we can play as Agatha until like the very end of the fucking... until the end of the fucking level. You know what, though? I may say that Midna is not one of my favorite characters to play as in this game. My least favorite character in this fucking game, period, is Tingle. And it's not... and, like, I don't want to hear that he's OP or whatever. I just fucking can't stand him. Like, I know it's a whole thing in the Zelda series that he's annoying and all that. No, I don't mean that. I mean that he is the most, like... he has... so, Tingle, like... everyone has, like, a running animation. You know, you've noticed that I do that a lot. I use their running animations to speed things up. Well, because you're kind of encouraged to. Tingle, as well, has one. But it is the most annoying one, because for some ungodly reason, they decided it was a good idea to have Tingle make, like, an audible sound for every single step during his running animation. It is so annoying. Like, I can't describe how just frustrating it is hearing that. Especially if you're stuck as playing as him. Because, like, it's like, he goes like, whoop, 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 like, every step. Not without a pause. Like, there were times where I was on the verge of just muting the freaking game so I didn't have to hear it. Like, it drove me that crazy at times. And now we got assault troops coming at us. Oh, and they're telling us that there's probably treasure in the keep. Meaning that there is a heart piece or heart container there. Yeah, this one is very, like... if you're playing as... since you're really stuck as playing either... you're stuck as playing as one character the whole time because of the fact that Agatha doesn't unlock until almost the midway point of the map. You are going to be constantly running back and forth because they're going to be sending different things towards the Allied base probably almost every 5 minutes. Because, again, you can't play as Agatha yet. You know, this is one of those scenarios where you kind of want to be playing as multiple characters. And this, I don't remember this being that bad back in the original game. The only reason I hated this mission back in the original was because of how repetitive it was and how many times we had to stop Agarok. Like, I liked Agarok's fight back in Twilight Princess. This game, not so much. In fact, I think Agarok is... actually, that's a good question. Who is my least favorite of the giant bosses in this game? Because I don't think I really have one. King Dodongo is easy to deal with. Manhandler's not a problem. Goma, you know, if the AI feels like being generous, it's not that bad. Agarok is a similar thing to Goma. I guess my least favorite is Phantom Ganon in this game, because I could be a little bitter about adventure mode and not knowing how to take him out. For the longest time, I had to look up a guide because I couldn't remember how to whatchamacallit, expose his weak point. Because, you know, usually you can kind of tell just by looking at the enemy what their weak point is. Like, if you play... like, I should've... like, there's a point where he throws, like, projectiles at you. God damn it, Agatha. Yeah, I had to run away and go help Agatha out because, again, if a playable character falls in battle, it's game over. And Agatha's playable, so I gotta prioritize her. But what was I saying about Phantom Ganon? Phantom Ganon throws energy orbs at you at some point, and you gotta attack them at the same time, and repel them back at Ganon. And after a while, how? I just saved her ass. Oh, it's just informing me again of something I already fixed. What was I saying though? But like, once you do that, that exposes a weak point. But then also, there's a second part where he stops doing the orb attack, and you have to figure out what his weakness is there. Turns out it's attacking him from behind. I didn't know that when I was doing adventure mode recently. I didn't know because I didn't think to do that. I know there was probably a tutorial prompt for him, or maybe I would have known if I remembered Wind Waker, but I don't remember Wind Waker that well. You know, I've only played Wind Waker one time, and I think I've mentioned this before. Wind Waker is not a Zelda game I go back to often because of the Triforce Hunt itself. The Triforce Hunt was so dumb that I think I just don't want to touch it ever again, even though I know for a fact it is fixed in the HD version. Like, if there are two Zelda games that I just I don't like going back to for different reasons, you know, besides archaic design choices like Zelda 1 and Zelda 2, Skyward Sword and Wind Waker are the two I immediately think of just not going back to often. And it's because of just things like the Triforce Hunt in Wind Waker and Skyward Sword as a whole. Skyward Sword is just... I'll get into Skyward Sword, actually, when we do the Skyward Sword arc for this game. Or, you know, when I Let's Play Skyward Sword in, like, 20 years. Honestly, I didn't think I'd be getting into the Zelda series with Hyrule Warriors, but then I was like, Tears of the Kingdom is coming out soon, and I'm not doing Tears of the Kingdom anytime soon, or Breath of the Wild for that matter, because of just how that game is structured. Those games are structured. You know, with, you know, open world games are not really good Let's Play games, in my eyes, because there's just so much you can do. You know, if it was there's so much you can do, especially if it's not like I know people have a whole thing about Minecraft and stuff like that, but to me, I feel like after a while, you just kind of want to see the game end already. And so, Breath of the Wild would probably be one of those where, like, depending on how I decided to approach it, it would be a very long or very short Let's Play. Like, obviously, I would probably go for the Divine Beast, like, all 4 of them. And then... But, like, in terms of, like, do I go for all of the shrines? Do I go for all of the, Okay, I'm not doing the Korok seeds ever again in my life. Like, that is the number one rule of my life. I am never going for the Korok seeds in Breath of the Wild ever again. I've done it once. I lost that save file a long time ago, but I'm never doing it again. I got nothing else to prove. I've done it once. I got nothing to prove. That's just never happening again. And you can't convince me. You can probably convince me. I'm just not... I'm just going to say you can't because I'm a fucking dick. I'm a... Alright. Agarok. We successfully repelled Agarok for like 5 minutes. Like, again, Breath of the Wild is just such a there's just so much to do in Breath of the Wild. I passed bombs like 2 times, dude. That I feel like at some point I would be thinking, how the fuck am I going to get this to move along? Like, if I did it post-commentary, I could really just edit out a lot of traversal. But, like, At the same time, I feel like that's cheating to some people. I obviously, like, when I do post commentary, I don't edit that much. You know, especially if it's something like this game where there's not really much to edit out. But, like, you know, I think I edited a little back in Persona 5, where, like, I think if I died in the middle of a dungeon, or if I took too long to figure out the solution, I would edit past to where I figured out what the problem was. Same thing I did. I think I did the same thing in Devil May Cry 5 or Devil May Cry 1, where like if I was taking too long to get somewhere, and like it was pretty much clear that I didn't know what I was doing for a second, then I would cut to where I was already at the area. You know what? I want to do something. We have like 12 minutes left in this part, I want to say. And we're actually approaching the end of the battle. Oh yeah, I love this, by the way. It is funny to me. This is a really cool reference when you remember that Majora's Mask does take place in the same timeline as Twilight Princess. I actually really like that. I don't think that was the joke, but so the rest of this battle is dedicated to me fighting Agarok. And look at how much time is on the playhead. Okay, so actually technically we have two fights. We have Agarok here, and we also have Zant, who's gonna start advancing towards the Allied base. Luckily, neither of them even set fucking foot in the Allied base, because I don't know. Also, I missed my chance to get the Gold Skulltula because I don't remember what I did wrong. Yeah, but I'm not doing a lot of damage to Agarok right now. Luckily, it's not a matter of his AI as being an asshole or anything. It's just that Midna is not doing a lot of damage to Agarok. Like, watch what happens when I do the weak point smash, and not now, I don't think. Yeah, but I took too long there. So yeah, when Agarok's tail glows blue like that, that's when you use the hook shot on him, and there you go. Yeah, this is the... Yeah, that was not a lot. That was barely anything. And gathering near Agarok was probably something I should have done. And I need this guy as his chiropractor. Because if he can move his spine like that, man, I'm jealous right now. Considering that my back's been killing me all day today. I won't get into reasons, but yeah. No, stop locking onto Zant. God, I hate it when the game does that. I also think the thing I don't like about this sequence, though, is like it just takes... This whole thing is dedicated... This, 10 minutes... this is 10 fucking minutes of, we're at 23 minutes. I said there was 12 minutes. About 90% of the time for this is going to be dedicated to me defeating Agarok. Agarok and Zant, anyway. And now his AI is being an asshole, and he's just doing the same attack. And yeah, I was locked onto Zant again, and they, for some ungodly reason. I hate it when the game does that, by the way. Oh, okay, it kept switching between Agarok and Zant. So I thought for a second Agarok was restoring health every time I hit him. I also hate that. And of course, there's a fucking Gibdo, or Re-Dead near me. So now he's going to be doing his shit the whole time. Yeah, I was not very happy at by the end of this part, I want to say. Like, I think this was the part that just kind of pissed me off a little bit in this Let's Play. I'm also trying to keep Zant the hell away from me for a second so I can breathe. Yeah, I was trying to get rid of the Re-Dead Knight. Yeah, my best piece of advice for this, focus on the big boss, focus on the giant boss, and then go after Zant. Oh, I leveled up, yay, I don't care though. And he's still alive. Yeah, this is gonna take forever. I mean, there's not a lot to talk about. I mean, it's just you're hook-shotting him when his tail glows blue. It's not that hard. It's just that it's taking so long because Midna is not doing as much damage as I think she should be doing. Like, it should not be taking this long to kill him. Like, I don't want to. Like, I don't even care that he's like level 50. Like that I'm level 47 and on hard mode. This should just not be taking this long. I'm pretty sure freaking Lana could probably kill him faster than this. It might be just because Midna is just not as powerful. Because again, as I mentioned, Midna is just not good against one-on-one fights. I don't know. I never switched to Agatha to test my theory, so I didn't really care. Because I didn't really care enough. Oh, Zant, yeah, that happens too. That's why I hate the fact that Zant's out here, because he's a bit of a fucking douche. And, like, if he didn't stun me there... Because the thing about fighting other playable characters in this game is that a lot of their attacks, they can stun you for a second, no matter what the attack is. And it's pretty infuriating when it happens. Like, you're in the middle of a combo, and all of a sudden you got stunned because the playable character hit you. Yeah, I'm not really happy about the fact that he has like one freaking sliver of health left. Oh, Lord. I have no idea if you guys heard that, but my cats are... Well, one of them's trying to kill the other. He's still alive? This should honestly kill him. I mean, it better. It's like 1 pixel. Alright. Now we kick Zant's ass. Yeah, because in order to win the battle, you have to kill Zant too. By the way, look at my kill count for this mission. Like, nearly 3,000. That's not bad. I mean, it's pretty... It basically shows how long I've been here. Then again, I think I got near, like, a 5,000 kill count for a mission. But then again, it was like, kill as many enemies as you can. Also, a lot of the playable characters that you can fight have recovery attacks like that. And they sometimes use it and sometimes don't. When do they use... What determines if they use it or not? I don't know. Were your eggs runny this morning? Oh, no, my kill count's over 3,000 now because Zant's going to count as one, and then pretty sure those small fry right there are going to end up in the crossfire at some point. There. Or not. I guess not. Oh, that's surprising. Like, if you can get a warrior cornered, you're fine, honestly. It doesn't really matter. Alright. That's 2 Gates of Souls closed. Well, technically, I think all 3 of them are closed at the same exact time, but... Oof. Oh! Yeah, so this is when we found out. This is technically when you're supposed to find out that Lana and Sia are the same person, even though we kind of already can guess that based off of the cutscenes earlier, but whatever. Yeah. Yeah, so that's the end of the map. But, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so, yeah. I've had a bit of a crashing problem with Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition. I don't know if I'm the only one. But sometimes I've had the game just crash, and I don't know what causes it. But, yeah, for this case, I assume that the twist was so, like, insane that not even the fucking Nintendo Switch could handle it. I mean, it just crashed. It could, like, I mean, anyway, don't worry, by the way. Yes, unfortunately, I did lose, like, all of the experience and stuff like that I gained for that battle, because technically I didn't run into the autosave. But I honestly didn't care enough to deal with that, because I think at this point I was just more focused on just getting through the actual story. But, I mean, clearly you saw that I did it, so it doesn't really matter that you guys see. It's not like I get ranked on Legend mode. So, and again, it was like, probably the rewards I got for the map are probably superfluous at best. I didn't even get the Gold Skulltula, so it doesn't really matter. By the way, I'm fiddling with something. That's what I just dropped. So, yes. So the next time we meet in the Legend of Hyrule Warriors and Hyrule Warriors, we're gonna be doing the third and final part of the timeline split, where we're going to the Skyward Sword era with Link, because, you know, we haven't seen Link in the past, what is it, 4 parts? And, you know, he's the main character. So see you guys next time, and take care.